Coming up on Jersey Sports Zone, St. John Vianney looks to close out the regular season with a perfect 9-0 mark. Plus, Red Bank Catholic and Steve Lubisher tune up for the playoffs with a tough test at Manasquan.
This is Alex Renzo in Montville. Nick Patty does it again. The Pittsburgh-bound QB orchestrates a brilliant fourth-quarter comeback as St. Joe's erases a 15-point deficit and gets a huge win over DePaul. All the highlights coming up on Jersey Sports Zone.
Reporting from Summit High School, I'm Courtney DuPont, where we have a thrilling game for you. Somerville comes storming back in the second half thanks to their quarterback Jalon Dabney and number 32 Joe Simpola, who scored 3 touchdowns on the night. Somerville wins in OT. Those highlights coming up on Jersey Sports Zone.
This is Nary Rodriguez in Hamilton, where Deontay Nicholson and the Nottingham North Stars come up big against Hamilton West as they roll into the playoffs with another win. Those highlights coming up on Jersey Sports Zone.
I'm Mike Frankel in Kearney's Point for a regular season finale and a Salem County rivalry game between Woodstown and Pennsgrove. Playoff positioning in the South Jersey Group 1 bracket is on the line between the Red Devils and the Wolverines.
And we'll have the highlights for you straight ahead on Jersey Sports Zone.
We close out the regular season in New Jersey high school football. I'm Rich Krampanis. Thanks so much for logging on to JerseySportsZone.com. This is our Saturday Week 9 highlight show. On Friday night, we brought you 11 games of action from every part of the state. We will close out the regular season in style. One more great batch of highlights. Let's get started. It's Saturday in New Jersey. Time for some high school football. Let's get things started in Montvale. St. Joseph Regional closing out the regular season hosting DePaul Catholic. Both teams getting ready for a big playoff run in non-public Group 3. Taquan Roberson, fresh off a verbal commitment to play for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Late in the first quarter, DePaul driving Roberson to Liam Cabri, wide open for the 37-yard touchdown. The Spartans take a 7-3 lead. And DePaul came to play. On the ensuing kickoff, check out Chaz Bryant with a big-time hit right there. DePaul would get a 3-and-out, and Roberson is able to go back to work. Here he finds Ronnie Hickman. Huge gain for Hickman across midfield into St. Joe's territory. And then DePaul, same drive, second quarter, goes to their bag of tricks. Roberson with the give to Darrell Sellers. Sellers back to Roberson, and Taquan Roberson finds Ronnie Hickman, and have a seat. That stiff arm was vicious. 45-yard touchdown, 14-3 DePaul in front. Later in the first half, DePaul driving again. Roberson's pass picked off by Gavin Sharkey, so the St. Joe's defense responds with under 5 minutes to go in the half. And now, it's St. Joe's looking to get something going. Nick Patty with the give to Isaiah Hopkinson, and Hopkinson breaks free. This is a 54-yard gain. TD saving tackle by Nicer Nunn right there. St. Joe's would have to settle for a field goal. Angelo Guglielmello from 28 yards, good to go at the half. DePaul has a 14-6 lead. Third quarter action. It's 3rd and 23 for DePaul. And Roberson's going to make something happen again. He finds Ronnie Hickman. Look at that catch falling backwards. Move the chains. We got a first down. And that would lead to this. Roberson to Teddy Harper on the slant. 11-yard touchdown. 21-6 DePaul. 4:54 to go in the third. In the fourth, it's Roberson to DePalma again. It's ruled a fumble. Evan Stewart scoops it up. And with that, St. Joe's Montvale begins the comeback. Nick Patty down 15 in the fourth. He finds Yasir Berry. Good grab right there by Berry. Near midfield, it's a first down. 3rd and 16. Same combination. Nick Patty to Yasir Berry. Now the St. Joe's offense, which really was stagnant for the first 3 quarters, is starting to get going. Nick Patty calm under pressure. He finds Matt Alimo. Pitt Panther to Pitt Panther. We got a 21-12 game with 8:42 to go. St. Joe's goes for 2, and it's Patty with a laser to Farad McCombs. We got a 21-14 game. The lead is down to 7 for DePaul. And the Green Knights defense steps up. Howard Cross going to bring down Roberson with the QB sack. So now St. Joe's gets the ball at midfield, down by 7 with 6:45 to go. And Nick Patty, this is why he's such a gamer. He's got so many different arm angles that he can throw. There he kind of slings it there. Great completion to Farad McCombs, out of bounds inside the 15. And then here, get ready for this, 4th and 8. Patty has that awareness to get out and run. Look at Nick Patty into the zone. So clutch. That is something else. 13 yards, we're tied at 21 apiece. The Green Knights defense will get yet another 3 and out, and St. Joe's gets the ball in good field position. Patty to Evan Stewart. Look at Stewart break tackles, and he's out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. And that would set the stage for the go-ahead score. Isaiah Hopkinson up the middle from 4 yards. What a fourth quarter for St. Joe's. It's 28-21, 21 unanswered points, under a minute to go. Last chance for DePaul, down 7. Roberson scrambles, launches into the end zone, but the pass is incomplete. Batted down, and St. Joe's Montvale completes a really amazing comeback. They trailed 21-6, and what can you say? It's the Green Knights coming back from behind to get a 28-21 win over DePaul. Some football game we saw in Montvale. Quarterback Nick Patty was 8 of 12 for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. That is a real remarkable comeback by St. Joe's. And now, we remind you throughout the show, the postseason matchups will become official on Sunday. We will post them, but the projections are pretty much locked in. DePaul is a #1 seed in Group 3 non-public. They will get a bye because Bishop Eustis has elected to not participate in the postseason. As for St. Joe's Montvale, they are set to be home in the first round. They will face Red Bank Catholic. We got RBC highlights coming up later on Jersey Sports Zone. So these two teams could meet again with a state championship on the line. A tremendous football game. Taquan Roberson had 269 yards and 3 TDs in the loss. Patty was unbelievable. And our Alex Lorenzo caught up with the future Pitt Panther to talk about another fourth quarter comeback for St. Joe's.
Thanks a lot, Rich. The fourth quarter in Montvale is now known as Nick Patty time, as the senior quarterback led St. Joe's to 3 consecutive touchdown drives for a 28-21 win over DePaul. And after the game, I caught up with Patty talking about the years of experience and thousands of reps that have gone into his clutch play.
It's just experience. Third year doing this at the varsity level. The game slows down for you, definitely in the fourth quarter when you got to make big plays, and it just comes with thousands and thousands of reps and games in practice, and they just get used to it. We're just a clutch team overall. We got a bunch of guys that show up big in the fourth quarter, and that's what you need. You need 22 guys showing up and finishing every game out, and that's what we do. Going in with a clutch win like this, knowing that we're going to see them hopefully down the road, it's very comforting to know that we can come up big like this against a great team like that.
Reporting for Jersey Sports Zone, I'm Alex Lorenzo.
Thanks, Alex. We head now to Summit High School, where we saw 78 points, an amazing comeback, and an overtime thriller. Courtney DuPont was there to take it all in.
Thank you, Rich. We have another senior night here at Summit High School as they take on the Somerville Pioneers. 2 minutes into the game, Somerville with the opening drive. Ryan Kovacs at QB. He launches up a pass downfield to number 32, Joe Simpola, who outruns his coverage, follows his blocker, and that's a Somerville touchdown, 38 yards for Simpola, and the Pioneers would then go for a successful 2-point conversion, leading the Summit Hilltoppers 8-0. Summit looking to answer, though. Number 24, Jackson Tyler, gets them down to the 5-yard line with this run, followed up by a handoff to number 7, Max Jackson, for a Summit touchdown, and the Hilltoppers would then complete a successful 2-point conversion also, and it's all tied up at 8. 10 to go in the second quarter. Here's where things get a little rough for Somerville. Ryan Kovac strapping back, has a lot of pressure on him. Number 32, Peter Maldonado, forces him to throw, and number 12, Steven Sager with the interception. You see there, the ref says it's an incomplete pass at first, but after some discussion, it is ruled an interception, and Summit takes over on the Somerville 40. But Summit would not score and is forced to punt away. Somerville now beginning a strong drive down the field. Ryan Kovacs, though, feeling that pressure once more, goes for the keeper, but is met by number 5, Jack Kelly, who punches the ball loose, and in flies Sager, and he is off to the races. And this would be a 60-yard pick six for Summit, giving them some unbelievable momentum as we approach halftime, with the Hilltoppers leading 15-8. Somerville trying to score, though, before the half. Number 1, Jalon Dabney with a big arm throws a long pass to number 11, Tajir Williams, getting Somerville past the 50-yard line. Unfortunately for Somerville, they would not get another first down, though, and we would go into halftime with Summit leading 15-8. Start of the second half, Dabney in at QB. He gets the snap, fakes the handoff, and flips it outside to number 5, Duke McDuffie, but he bobbles it, and number 31 of Summit comes up with the ball on their own 19. 3 snaps later, QB Skylar Schlutter hands the ball off to Tyler, and he is just wide open all by himself all the way down the field. He runs for a 75-yard touchdown run here to extend the Summit lead 22-8. 6 minutes to go in the third quarter, and Somerville is showing that they will not roll over. Dabney with another throw to, of course, Simpola for his second score of the day, this time a 27-yard touchdown pass to make the score now 22-15, with Summit still leading. Summit with a quick response, though. Schlutter with the fake handoff causes some confusion. He falls back and sees Sager down the field wide open. Nobody around him for another Summit touchdown. Great coaching call by that Hilltopper offensive coordinator as they now lead 29-15. Summit gets the ball back, a handoff once again to Tyler. Around the outside, he's got a lot of room, but he would be brought down short of the end zone at the 2-yard line. And to further that lead at the end of the third quarter, Schlutter on the 1-yard line with the QB keeper. He gets in, but is searching around for that touchdown sign, and it is a Summit touchdown. Summit looking like they're going to take this win now, up 36-15 with just the fourth quarter left to play. 2 minutes into the fourth quarter, though, Somerville has more offense in store. Dabney with another throw, once again to the Somerville favorite today, Simpola, his third touchdown catch of the day, and Somerville begins to close that gap with the score now 36-22 Summit. Summit with a quick 3-and-out, and Somerville follows it up with a long drive down the field. McDuffie gets the snap, shoots the left corner, but comes up short, forcing the fourth down for Somerville on the Summit 1. And with that, Dabney has the QB keeper. He dives over the pile and reaches out. But did he make it over the line? Looking for those refs. And yes, it would be ruled a touchdown for Somerville. Right back in this one, the Pioneers are with the score 36-30 after another successful 2-point conversion. Summit, unable to do anything offensively once again, is forced to punt away from their own 15. McDuffie waiting on the 50. He catches it, and this is one guy you do not want to be returning the ball in a situation like this. He breaks right, outrunning everyone on the field with his incredible speed. He gets tangled up with some Summit defenders, but no matter, he says they'll just have to come with me, and he breaks into the end zone to tie this game up 36-36. I cannot believe it. All that's left to do is make that extra point and run down what's left of the clock, and Somerville has a win. The snap is good, now the kick. But what? The extra point is blocked, and the score remains 36-36. Unbelievable. The remaining minute and a half on the clock winds down, and this game is heading into overtime. Somerville gets the first possession and quickly scores with this QB keeper by Duke McDuffie, giving Somerville a 42-36 lead, but they would still need to deny the Summit score. And here it is, the last play of the game. 4th down, 3 yards to go. Tyler takes the snap, looks to throw, but the ball is batted down by Simpola, and that's the ball game. Somerville with a huge comeback in the second half and take over in overtime. But one thing is clear, the Somerville star today, Joe Simpola, who scored 3 touchdowns and made that game-ending defensive play. Somerville is the number 2 seed in the Central Jersey Group 3 state playoffs. After the game, I caught up with Simpola, Dabney, and McDuffie.
Practice. I mean, we practice harder than any other team in New Jersey, in my opinion. We go all out. We had the best practice this week, and that's what it is. It was only one touchdown. I mean, we've been down by more than that before, and we came back. We just got in the field, we got in the locker room, and we were just hyped. We knew we had it, and we had to come back. We're more conditioned than anybody, so that didn't faze us. Sadly, we say we are a second-half team, though, so we just had to come out and prove that we are. Speechless. I don't know. It was just a dream come true.
Just was telling my team to keep their heads, stay in the game. We could be anybody in the state. They couldn't stop the run, and they were leaving one-on-one coverage. Nobody can guard our wide receivers. Really hyped going into the playoffs with a win. That's all we need.
The thought process for this game was to come out, win this game so we can have momentum for the playoffs, so we can keep rolling and have a streak. Yeah, well, our coach just kept preaching to us in the locker room to never give up, and this is a lot. We still have a lot of game to play, so we never gave up and came out victorious. I just trusted my teammates, trusted my blocks, tried to find a hole, found one, and I don't know. I just can't thank my teammates enough.
And Somerville takes this win over Summit as they build momentum heading into states. Reporting from Summit High School, I'm Courtney DuPont, and you're watching Jersey Sports Zone.
Jersey Sports Zone's coverage of RBC football is being brought to you by the Two River Times. Jersey Sports Zone's coverage of Red Bank Catholic is brought to you by Playa Bowls of Red Bank. Let's head over to the Shore Conference where Steve Lubisher and Red Bank Catholic have their playoff spot locked up, but a hungry Manasquan team revved up early on, wanted to climb up the bracket as well. Now let's get started with the Casey's first drive. Lubisher to Jaden Key. Along the sideline, Key moves the sticks, puts RBC down at the 26-yard line. After taking a QB sack, Lubisher responds with a big play of his own. He is a great mobile quarterback. Look at Steve Lubisher go. He outruns the pack. 30-yard touchdown for Steve Lubisher. RBC strikes first. It's 7-0. Casey's in front. And Manasquan, a tough team, responds right away. Connor Morgan out of the backfield. He goes 46 yards all the way down to the 9-yard line. The Warriors are in business. And Morgan does the dirty work on that big run, and he's going to get the payoff. They give the ball back to Connor Morgan. This is a guy you don't want to take on one-on-one. Morgan bruises his way into the zone. It's a 9-yard scoring play. We're tied up at 7, 5:41 to go in the first. Next drive for RBC. The Casey's offense so potent, they move right back down the field. Big gain for Brandon Lombana, a 29-yard gain down to the 32-yard line. And then the Casey's find the zone again. The sophomore, Billy Guidetti, gets into the zone from 2 yards out. 13-7, a 5-minute, 71-yard scoring drive for the Casey's. And as we get ready for the postseason, Manasquan's going to show some different looks. How about Connor Morgan out of the Wildcat? That's effective. A 14-yard gain right there. And in this first half, Manasquan was staring RBC right in the eyes. Matt Lyons on the reverse. And look at Matt Lyons go. He's in the clear. Great juke. 23-yard touchdown. We're tied up at 13 apiece. Manasquan had a chance to take the lead going into the halftime locker room, but Matt Ansell says, Ansell with the blocked field goal at the half. We got a 13-13 ball game. Big play by Matt Ansell, 15. So we go to the third quarter now. RBC has Lubisher with the great play fake to Guidetti. He finds Brandon Lombana downfield. Lombana, look at those great moves by Brandon Lombana. 55 yards. What a touchdown by Brandon Lombana. It's 20-13. RBC has the lead. 5 minutes after Billy Guidetti scored his second TD of the game, the Squan defense steps up. Dylan DeAnton comes up and rips it out of Guidetti's hands, and somehow, someway, he's in the end zone. How about that? We got a 27-19 game. The RBC lead is 8. But the Casey's offense was relentless in this one. Steve Lubisher able to break it open. This is a beautiful ball to Jaden Key, and Key will not be denied. 64-yard touchdown, Lubisher to Key, and RBC is starting to pull away. And the nail in the coffin will come 4 minutes later. Logan Whalen dispelled Guidetti. Look at Whalen in the zone from 6 yards out. And And the Red Bank Catholic Casey's wrap up the regular season with an 8-1 record. 41-19 is your final. Steve Lubisher had 4 total touchdowns, 2 through the air for 240 yards and 2 on the ground. RBC clinches the B North title. They are the number 6 seed in the non-public Group 3 playoff bracket. They have to go to St. Joe's Montvale. That's next Saturday. RBC is going to have a lot to handle with Nick Patty and St. Joe's Montvale, as we saw earlier in the highlight show. But right now, RBC riding hot heading into the playoffs after the game. Our Jay Cook got post-game reaction from the Caseys, who are scoring at a high pace without their top playmaker as they head into the postseason.
Thanks, Rich. The RBC machine strikes yet again. This offense has shown all season long that no matter who's on the other side of the ball, they are going to be able to put points on the board. And right now, they're even doing it without star running back Zach Baer. After the game, I caught up with head coach Frank Edgerly and quarterback Steve Lubisher, who talked about filling in for Baer's absence and getting ready as the postseason is just around the corner.
Well, you don't replace a Zach Baer, and what you guys don't see, you see what happens on the field, but what he means to the team on and off the field, you just don't replace. But a number of guys, in addition to Steve, have really stepped it up. But as far as Steve Lubisher goes, that's a special kid. I mean, his growth, his maturation, especially above the neck, is now magnifying that skill set that I already think is special. And I think you see numerous times today in critical spots, we put the ball in his hands and he delivered. And I think that's the biggest mark of that quarterback, in big spots, making big plays, and he did it today.
It means a lot, and to our opponents, it's a scary thought because, we can come out here and score every time. We know it's going to be tough going into the playoffs, but we're just going to keep running our offense no matter how good I'm throwing, no matter how good Billy's running or Logan's running. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing.
Jersey Sports Zone's coverage of St. John Vianney is brought to you by Paver Restoration. Jersey Sports Zone's coverage of St. John Vianney is being brought to you by BCB Bayshore, your community bank. Let's go to Tinton Falls, where St. John Vianney paid a visit to Monmouth Regional. The Falcons, a 6-win team, but this St. John Vianney team is getting ready for the playoffs. First play from scrimmage, Hazik Daniels. Look at him go. Daniels with a big run as he goes out of bounds at the 11-yard line. And just a couple of plays later, it's Daniels rolling right. Samuel East gathers. 9-yard touchdown. Vianney's on the board early at 7-0 SJV. And that Daniels-East combination works once again. On the next drive, that's a great throw and catch by Samuel East. 2 touchdowns for Samuel East in the first, 14-0 Lancers. And then Josiah Walker gets in the open field. And look at Josiah Walker go. I thought he was taking it to the paint. He's down at the 2-yard line, but no worries. On the next play, they give it back to Josiah. He is across the plane and in the zone. Josiah Walker with a 2-yard run. 21-0 St. John Vianney. The Lancers were relentless in this one. Daniels to Zaire Sterling. 12-yard scoring play. 28-0 early in the second quarter. The St. John Vianney defense will need to play big-time football to make it to the state finals. Nick Denseski with another quarterback sack. And Johnny Buchanan. Watch him go up and over. That made it 35-0 St. John Vianney, and the Lancers were able to steamroll Monmouth Regional. How about this? 48-7 is your final. St. John Vianney has now won 38 straight Shore Conference games. Pretty remarkable number. A lot of people thought that we were going to see a St. John Vianney Red Bank Catholic rematch in the non-public Group 3 state playoffs next Friday night. That is not the case according to all the projections we have seen. Once again, we will have the official matchups on Sunday on JerseySportsZone.com, but we are projecting Camden Catholic paying a visit to St. John Vianney. That should be a great ball game. Vianney gets the 4 seed, Camden the number 5. So it'll be Camden and St. John Vianney next week in the playoffs. We'll have all the highlights of that one as the Lancers wrap up the regular season. 48-7 win over Monmouth Regional. SJV 9-0. Jersey Sports Zone's coverage of Modern Day Prep is being brought to you by Gold Coast Cadillac. In Middletown, Modern Day Prep had a 14-6 lead on Point Pleasant Beach at the half. third quarter, the Sarahs put together a long drive. Malik Ingram with the first down run here to the 29-yard line. When it was all said and done, 8 minutes and 50 seconds off the clock. Sincere Saunders from a yard out makes it 21-6 Serifs. The modern-day defense got a big boost with the return of Isaiah Henderson, one of the top defensive linemen in the state. He looks like he's at 100% as the Serifs get ready for the playoffs. That ends the third quarter, and then George Pearson to Isaiah Noguera. Noguera got a head of steam. He's almost there, but he's dragged down at the 6-yard line. That was a 59-yard pass play, and Malik Ingram is able to cash in from 6 yards out. And that wraps up the scoring as Modern Day Prep gets a 28-6 win over Point Pleasant Beach. The Serifs are the B Central champ. They are the defending state champ in non-public Group 2. And they are projected to be home next Saturday as the number 3 seed when they will face Holy Cross. It should be an interesting run to see if Modern Day Prep can repeat as state champs. We look forward to bringing you more Serifs highlights thanks to the great sponsorship of Gold Coast Cadillac. Modern Day with a 28-6 win over Point Pleasant Beach. Jersey Sports Zone's coverage of Hamilton West and Nottingham is being brought to you by Princeton Orthopedic Associates.
Thanks, Rich. Postseason play kicks off soon, and Hamilton West needed an upset victory over Nottingham to secure a spot. But the North Stars were ready as they applied pressure early thanks to running back Deontay Nicholson to show why they're Colonial Valley champs. Nottingham hosting Hamilton. We go into this one, Hornets leading 6-0. Running back Deontay Nicholson trying to change that as he applies a deadly stiff arm before being brought down on this run. Soon after, he's going to get the feed once again, and it just looks fun for him. Nicholson will not be denied as he takes this one downfield and dives in for 6. What do you expect? He's a JSZ game ball winner. Next possession for the Hornets. They're going to try and run it, and Nikemdi Ike is going to recover the fumble and runs it in for the scoop and score. North Stars leading it 14-6 in the second, and they kept the wheel turning. Deontay Nicholson getting the handoff again, and he's going to take some of the defense with him as he comes up on the other side with his second touchdown of the game. Midway through the third, Hezekiah Patterson would launch this one downfield, and Derek Williams comes up with the clutch interception. Starters pulled after that, and Nottingham has bragging rights for Hamilton Township. The North Stars cap off an impressive game with a sweet celebration. Now that the regular season is over, it's time to start thinking about the playoffs. Nottingham finishing the year strong with one more win. They enjoy this one for a bit before preparing for Ashante Worthy and Freehold Borough next week. Afterwards, we caught up with some of the key players and the big dog himself, head coach John Adams.
I mean, it feels good, but at the end of the day, I just want to play football. That's all. A ring. That's what we're going for. We're running for a ring. That's all.
Honestly, it's competition. Our defense tries to match our offense, and our offense does the same. The mentality is just shut it out, play lights out defense, and put points on the board.
Well, not going to be easy because we get the nightmare right out the bat. Little number 2 from Freehold Borough and his buddies. He's a big, tall wide receivers he got, throwing the ball all over the place. One of the best players in his state. We're going to have our hands full. I'm very confident in our defense. I love our kids. We look forward to the challenge. We're playing at home, which is very important. We saw Freehold Borough many years ago. I believe it was 2008, and we gave them a good tussle, but in the end, they were the better team. Hopefully, we'll be able to do enough to slow that young man down and contain him to the point where we can put some points on the board also and come away with a victory and move on, because that's what we're looking to do. Well, Nottingham has heart, and you better come because we're going to take your best. We'll go toe to toe with anybody. We're not afraid of anybody, and we're going to keep coming. We got a lot of heart, and these kids won't quit.
Nottingham will have home field advantage for their first playoff game. For Jersey Sports Zone, I'm Nary Rodriguez.
Jersey Sports Zone's coverage of Hopewell Valley and Trenton is being brought to you by Princeton Orthopedic Associates.
Some nice breezy weather for Senior Day at Trenton Central High School. Tornadoes looking for a little more momentum going into the playoffs. Hopewell Valley looking to end the year with one more victory. Bulldogs find themselves punting on 4th down early, and they're going to run the fake, but Jair Brown saw right through it, and he's headed back to the crib with this one. Extra point no good. Trenton leads it by 6. And this was 22's show. On defense, he's going to come up big with the stop on 3rd down and force the punt. And on offense, the Week 8 game ball winner showing off his hands once again as he comes down with the grab from Donovan Ford. Brown not the only tornado spinning. Running back Messiah Cook moving the rock thanks to some shifty moves. And he finishes the drive off strong as he walks in the touchdown on the next play. Bulldogs will put a field goal up. They're only trailing 12-3 as they try to make something happen. Jack Demoreski finds Steven Dodley for the completion. And then Dodley going to show off his speed as he makes a nice run down the sideline. Demoreski now looking for the end zone, but Jockey Alfred is there to get the INT. And the Trenton D kept rocking. Next Bulldogs possession. Demoreski puts another one up. This time it's Prince Jones getting some. Have to start calling them the Keebler Elves the way they're getting these cookies. Jones cutting it back, might have had a snack along the way, and he's finally going to be brought down with an extra 15 for the horse collar tackle. And working off that pick just before the half, Donovan Ford is going to run the fake for Kerry Smith, and that's too easy for the human boulder as he gets the score. Trenton would go on to win it 40-3. It was a great defensive performance for them as they only allowed that field goal in the first quarter. Their regular season schedule is finished, so they will have to wait and see where they head for their first playoff game. The 2017 football season comes to a close for Hopewell Valley as the Bulldogs finish 1-8. Given the tough schedule they had this year, though, expect them to be one team to look out for next season. For Jersey Sports Zone, I'm Nair Rodriguez.
I'm SNJ Today's Mike Frankel for JerseySportsZone.com in Kearney's Point for a regular season finale between the Pennsgrove Red Devils and the Woodstown Wolverines. Both of these teams locked into the South Jersey Group 1 playoff picture. What seed will each team be? Well, that depends on the outcome today.
First quarter, 3rd and long for Pennsgrove. Kayvon Lewis flings a pass out to Torvon Ransom on the far sideline. Ransom streaking up the field, and he's gone. 48 yards to pay dirt as Ransom and the Red Devils race out to a 6-0 lead. The Wolverines respond. Cody Wolf fakes the handoff, connects with Eric Quinones for the touchdown. Woodstown adds a 2-point conversion to take an 8-6 lead. Second quarter, the Woodies go to the ground game. Jamison Taylor right up the middle, untouched. The sophomore Taylor sprinting 72 yards for the touchdown. Woodstown adds a 2-point conversion to extend that lead 16-6. Here come the Red Devils. Lewis drops back, throws down the seam to Josh Martin for the score. That's a 30-yard hookup to bring the Devils within 2 at 16-14. Pennsgrove in the red zone again now. Lewis rolls to his right, lobs a pass to the back of the end zone for Tyreek Brown. He gets a foot down inbounds for the touchdown. Brown and company take a 20-16 lead. But the Woodies take that lead right back before the break. Jamison Taylor, his second touchdown of the day. This one makes it 22-20 Wolverines at the break. But the momentum shifts right here in the third. 4th and goal for Woodstown, and the Red Devils make a stand. That's Brown and Mackay Scott in on the tackle, and Pennsgrove takes over. And on the ensuing possession, after a 90-yard run from Jamar Johnson, it's Samaj Moore barreling in for the touchdown. Red Devils back in front, 28-22. And it's all Pennsgrove from there. Kayvon Lewis pumps, then throws to Ransom in the end zone for a touchdown. 34-22 at this point, 40-22 the final as Pennsgrove comes back to win it going away. The Red Devils are 7-1 and will open the South Jersey Group 1 playoffs at home on Saturday. Woodstown falls to 4-4. The Wolverines should qualify as well, but will be on the road. Saturday football in Salem between the Rams and Deptford. Salem is a lock for the Group 1 playoffs. The Spartans need a win to solidify a spot in South Jersey Group 3. First quarter, the Rams go to Zaire Jones on the ground. Jones hits the hole, breaks a tackle, and muscles in for the touchdown. A 16-yard run to give Salem a 6-0 lead. Speaking of muscles, later in the first, Jameel Bundy, quick pass to Deshaun Bundy. The Spartans stand him up for a moment, but here comes the offensive line to the rescue. A secondary push, and Deshaun Bundy is in there. The Rams increase the lead 13-0. We are still in the first. Deptford forced to punt from its own end zone. Zaire Jones fields it at the Spartans' 44-yard line. Jones looking for a hole, and when he finds it, he's gone. Jones picks up a key block along the sideline and scores. 18-zip Salem after 1 quarter of play. The Rams scoring on offense, special teams, and now defense. It's Deshaun Bundy with the pick, and Bundy is in for 6. Salem spanks Deptford 44-0 the final. Salem improves to 6-2 heading into the South Jersey Group 1 postseason. Deptford falls to 3-5, but it looks like the Spartans still back into the South Jersey Group 3 playoffs. I'm Mike Frankel for JerseySportsZone.com.
Jersey Sports Zone's coverage of Shore Regional is being brought to you by ServPro of Eatontown Long Branch. Jersey Sports Zone's coverage of Keyport is being brought to you by BCB Bayshore, your community bank. Let's wrap it up in Keyport, where Shore Regional's playoff spot is on the line. Head coach Mark Costantino doing his best to push his team into the postseason. In the first quarter, the Shore rushing attack is on display. Junior Gil Goldsmith from the Wildcat picks up 21 yards. He's down to the Keyport 39. And 3 plays later, it's Goldsmith again. The junior back takes this one down the sideline. He's inside the 15. Shore is threatening, and the drive is capped off by Jack McCray. Great blocking by the Shore O-line. It's McCray into the end zone. 6-0 Shore early with 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Next drive for Shore, they're looking for that big play. We're going to see Ryan Morris here drop back. Ryan Mandelbaum is able to swoop in for the INT. So a good play by Ryan Mandelbaum, and Keyport's in business, and the Raiders have an answer. The give is to Devin Woolner, and he has got daylight. Look at that hole right there. Woolner straight untouched for 66 yards. 7-6, Keyport takes the lead. Great run by Devin Woolner right there. Next drive for Shore, they continue to lean on the ground game and Jack McCray. He was running all throughout this game. He totaled 164 yards, picked them up in chunks. Another nice run here later in the drive by McCray as he's moving past defenders near midfield. So McCray was able to get the job done. Shore would get the ball back with under 2 minutes to go after this drive stalls. And McCray kept on cranking out big chunks of yardage. Here is a 20-yard carry down to the 30-yard line. McCray would get one last big carry in the half, but this drive would stall thanks to an interception to end the half. But the Blue Devils were able to turn all those yards in the first half into points in the second. McCray had 2 touchdowns as Shore Regional gets a 28-14 win. They wrap up a playoff spot in Central Jersey Group 1. Shore had 373 rushing yards, 164 from McCray and 124 from Gil Goldsmith. As it stands now, the projections have Shore taking on Middlesex in the opening round of the playoffs next week. They lost to Middlesex earlier this year in a 22-21 heartbreaker in overtime. Now Shore gets a chance at revenge as the Blue Devils wrap up the regular season with a big 28-14 win at Keyport. With that, the regular season has come to a close, but don't worry, we're just getting started. The road to the state championships begin next Friday night, and Jersey Sports Zone will be there with you every step of the way. We have an all-hands-on-deck mentality. We will get as many cameras out as we can to get as many games as the journey to MetLife Stadium, Rutgers, and Rowan is officially underway. Coming up on Sunday, log on to JerseySportsZone.com. We will have all the postseason matchups, find out where your hometown team is playing, and how the bracket looks as it takes 3 wins to win a state championship in New Jersey. Coming up on Sunday, make sure you come back to JerseySportsZone.com. Cast your vote for the top play captured by our cameras. The winner of that poll, which stays open through Tuesday, they get an invite to our first Jersey Sports Zone football banquet that comes up on December 7th in Woodbridge as we honor the top players in the state. It's going to be an electrifying evening, and we also have our game ball votes that comes up on Sunday as well. top performers from around the state, 4 different polls. It's always great for us to honor high school football players in New Jersey. For our team at Jersey Sports Zone, I'm Rich Krampanis. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week with playoff high school football on JerseySportsZone.com. Want to see highlights and features from your favorite school? Jersey Sports Zone is entirely supported by our great sponsors. Email marketing@JerseySportsZone.com to get your business in front of our loyal audience and highlights from your hometown.